Sharkie Gamer here. So today we're taking a look at a very rare controller for Game Boy. This is a Konami Hyper Boy. It's basically like an arcade unit or housing or stand for the Game Boy. You can see the Konami logo up the top, and of course a picture of the Hyper Boy with the Game Boy going in the back. It says for Game Boy, Hyper Boy Konami 1991. On the top of the box, it shows you the Hyper Boy. Side of the box, it shows you the side view, and on the other side it shows you the other side. On the back, gives you sort of an overview of the Hyper Boy there, and it shows you each of the features. Of course, it has a whole lot of writing in Japanese, and it's got an image there of a Japanese boy playing with his Game Boy through the Hyper Boy. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing and have a closer look at this rare controller. So first up, you have a manual. This manual both has Japanese, but it also has some English in it as well. And it goes through sort of the features of it, how you connect the Game Boy, how you install the batteries, and like I said, it's got some English as well in it. And I think it's got troubleshooting as well. So that's the manual. Okay, so this is the Hyper Boy. So it looks like a mini arcade unit, like one of those tabletop arcade games. It's back. Okay, so let's have a closer look at some of these features. So first up, you have an arcade style joystick here. And you'll notice at the end, just behind the joystick, there's actually a little switch. That switch basically switches this joystick between 4-way mode and 8-way directional mode. So 4-way would probably be better for action games, while your 8-way will give you more accuracy and be better for kind of shooters. So there's a little switch there that changes what joystick mode it's in. Next to that, you have a select and start button, and they push down nice and easily. Then you've got the A and B button, and again they push down nice and easily. Next, of course, you have the screen. Now the screen not only magnifies your Game Boy screen, and I don't know if you can tell, I'll just try aim it at the box. You can see how it's basically magnifying that Hyper Boy text. So this screen is basically a giant magnifier. But it not only magnifies, it also lights up the screen. So it's got some lighting in there, and it shines on your actual Game Boy screen, which means that you can play your Game Boy in this thing in a dark room or at night or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. Another cool feature of the screen is it actually comes off for adjustments. So this whole thing pushes up and pulls off like such, and inside here you've got these screws up top and there. Those screws actually let you undo them slightly and adjust the angle of this lens, so it's basically able to do that. So it depends on which way you're sitting. Are you sitting down at a desk, or you're higher than the unit? This allows you to adjust the actual lens to your perfect viewing angle of viewing your Game Boy, so you can just adjust it to where you need it to be. So it's a pretty cool little feature. And of course, you can see the lights in here as well. Just there. And there's also one down there as well on the actual unit. And of course, this just clips right back on. You just line it up and then push down. And it clips back into place. Now, onto the side here, you got your on and off switch just there. So that just lets you turn the unit on and off. And on the sides here, basically you've got your speakers. So that basically gives you sound coming out both sides and enhances your Game Boy sound. Now on the bottom of the unit, it just says for Game Boy, has some model numbers and everything there. And of course here is your battery compartment where you open up to install your batteries. Now this takes 2 D-size batteries, so I'll just go ahead and install 2 D-size batteries now. So they take the large batteries. So once you install the 2 batteries, you can close the compartment up. And now if I just turn it on by flicking that switch, you can see the light comes on. So that is basically the light that would shine on your Game Boy screen. You can see it in there. Now to install your Game Boy, let me just grab my Game Boy. The Game Boy system just goes into the back just here. So it slides down and clips into place. Just down there you can see where the connection for the sound is. Let's see that. See if I can give you a closer look at the mechanism here. So you can see there's like almost like a headphone jack down there, and that controls the sound. Well, if I just press this button up here, if I press that, you can see that little plastic bit that comes out for both the buttons as well as the start. So that is basically what allows you to control your buttons on your actual Game Boy itself. So it presses these buttons and these. And of course your stick also, it presses that little thing there. You can see the mechanism. So that is basically how the system actually controls, how these controls affect your Game Boy's controls. Alright, so the Game Boy just slots into the back there and clips into place. Now before I'm going to do that, for my case, I am actually going to take the screen off of my Game Boy. You don't have to do it on yours, but I don't know if you can see it, but my Game Boy is really scratched on the screen. And if I put it in like this, it actually magnifies every single scratch on the screen. You can barely see the game. And my Game Boy, the screen was already pulled off anyway, so it's really easy for me to just pull that off, so that I don't have scratches in my way obscuring the vision. But of course, if you have a Game Boy that's not scratched, you're not going to have a problem. But anyway, I'll just slip this into place, so it just slots in like that, clips in the back nicely, and of course I've already got the game cartridge in there. The game cartridge I have in is Super Mario Land. So now I can just turn on my system, turn on the Game Boy, and you'll see it start up. So there it is, starting up the game. And there's some sound. So I move the joystick, the character moves. Of course this jumps. And you can die. And I'm probably going to die a little bit now because I'm just trying to show a close-up of the screen. And I cannot really see what I'm doing too well. So as you can see, your joystick allows you to configure. You can jump up and hit things. So really easy to move around. And one thing I would recommend with the screen like this, before you play any game, adjust your sound and your contrast so you can get the best viewing experience, so you can actually see what you're doing. So it's really clear and it magnifies that Game Boy screen quite nicely. So I'm just going to pull this out a bit just to show you the actual controls while I'm doing this, and I'll try to get a good angle of the screen as well. Might be a bit hard. So basically that moves your character around. You can jump really easily. Now I died. Now I'll just start a new game. it's really easy to control the game and control your character. So it should go on to the next level, and I'll play a little bit more just so you can see it. Different levels, and what kind of quality it comes up with. And I still can't see the top portion of the screen from my viewing port very good, so I keep dying. But as you can see, it comes up very nice quality. You can quite easily move the character around using the joystick, and of course jump using the buttons. And this goes for any type of Game Boy game that you want to play with this thing. It works with all the Game Boy games in your Game Boy system, and it plays really nicely. It's really easy to see the screen. The light really helps to play, of course, at dark rooms or anything like that. So it's actually a really cool controller for your Game Boy. The one downside I can say with playing this for long hours is this magnification. You're going to feel it after a while. If you keep playing this game for a long period of time, the magnification will get to you, and you'll be like, oh, my eyes. So the magnification, I would suggest with that is to have a break if you're going to be playing this for a little while. And I know it can be very addicting, especially if you pick up an old game you haven't played in years, you put in your Game Boy, put it into this thing, and you start playing, and you're like, oh, this is pretty fun playing this with arcade-type controls, because it does get that way. But have a break, because the magnification will probably affect your eyes as you go along. But overall, this is a very cool piece of gaming history, because it is quite rare now. It's quite an old controller for the Game Boy. It's very hard to find actually mint in packaging at the moment. So to find it boxed and everything like that is quite a feat, really. If you found one, then that's awesome. You're very lucky. But it's a really awesome piece of Game Boy history, and any Game Boy fan or collector, or if you just love playing Game Boy, you should own one of these things. It looks pretty cool. It works really well. Just look at it. It just looks like an arcade tabletop unit. So yeah, overall, a really cool item. Really enjoy playing games with this thing. And of course, it allows you an excuse to go back and say, I want to play all these old Game Boy games, and I want to play them basically in the Hyper Boy to try them as a new experience. So yeah, pretty awesome. Anyway guys, that's about all I can say about this one. Thanks for watching. I am Sharkie Gamer. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll have heaps more gaming controllers and accessories up shortly. If you like this video, then hit that like button. It really helps a lot. And of course, as always, feel free to leave a comment down below if you want to. Thanks for watching, guys.